So here we are going to discuss another important feature of function, that is called recursion. So what is recursion? Recursion is basically executing a function by the help of that function again, or when a function calls itself, that is called recursion. For example, let us assume we have a machine like this. So it is a machine where we have total 5 number of balls are there. Total 5 number of balls are there. Now if I press this switch, one ball will come out. One ball will come out of the machine. Okay. Now, so if one ball comes out, 4 ball will remain there. Now second time if I again press the button, another ball will come out. In that way, total 5 balls are there. We can get 5 balls out of this. In that way. So first we press this button, the ball will get out. Again the ball will come out. Again press, the ball will come out. So in that way total 5 balls are there, so we can perform the process 5 times because only 5 balls is available. Now what is similarity in this task? What is similarity in between all these 5 tasks? They are all 5 separate tasks. Now if you see that here in the first process there are 4 balls, but inside the process, if I consider this as a process, this box as a process, or you can say it is a function. If you consider this as a function. So if you look at the function, in every case the function is similar. What is there? In the function we have one ball available which is ready to deliver. One ball is ready to deliver. As soon as this ball is delivered here, then again another ball comes to the function and becomes ready to deliver. Again whenever this ball comes out here, after pressing it comes out, then again another ball get ready to deliver. The same process we are repeating. Here you can see. So every time we press the button, one ball will get out, but inside the function, one ball will always remain available to deliver for the next operation. So here you can see this function, if I consider this as a function, then this function, so all these 5 functions that we have here, all the functions are same. Or you can say in other word also that this function is repeating this function. Right? Here we have one ball available, in this function also we have one ball available. So this function is repeating this. This function is again repeating this. As soon as we press the button, it is repeating the previous function, you can say. As soon as we press the button, it is repeating the previous function. So that is called recursion. And the previous function is same. So when a function repeat itself, that is called recursion. In programming, how we represent it is like this. If the program is like this, you can see this is the main function. So it will enter, and in the output it will print the C program. In the output it will print the C program which is there inside the printf statement. After that we call the main function. So what will happen? As soon as the main function will call, it will jump to the main again. And again it will enter into execute the main function. And when it will execute the main function, again C program will be printed. After that, again it will call the main function. So again it will get back to the main. Okay, so again C program will get printed. So here you can see that the main function is calling the main function again. So basically two way we can define the recursion. Number one is that when a function calls itself. So here you can see the main function calls the main function. Okay. In other words, what we can say is when the called and calling function are same. When the called and calling function both are same, that is also here you can see this main is the calling function and the called function is also main. So when the calling and call function both are same, that is also called recursion. Now in this program, what problem we can face, or we are facing what the problem in this particular example. In this particular example, the problem we are basically facing is that the main will continuously call the main function, and this main function will get execute repeatedly. But this execution will never end, because here we don't have any terminating condition, that if the main function is executing, when it will stop or how many times the main function will get execute, that we have not defined here. So it will lead to an infinite loop. So the same program or the printf statement will execute infinite loop, and in the output this C program will be printed infinite loops. So this concept of recursion, basically, as you can see here, the concept of recursion is basically similar to loop. Similar to loop. In recursion also we can execute a process multiple times. We can execute a set of statement. Here as you can see, the printf statement will execute repeatedly. So we can execute a particular statement or a set of statement repeatedly. In loop also, that is while, it may be while, it may be do while, or it may be for, whatever loop it is. So in that loop, concept of loop also, we can execute a set of statement repeatedly. Okay. And in case of recursion also, if the base value or the condition, if we are not applying any condition, or if the base value is not properly defined, then recursion will lead to an infinite loop, that I have shown here. In case of loop also, it is possible that if I say for I equals to 1, I greater than 10, I greater than 0, I plus plus. So if I like this, so here the value of I is 1, then we are performing increment operation. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So always the value of I will be greater than 0. Always it will be greater than 0, and it will also lead to an infinite loop. So if I write it 10 instead of 0, then it will be a finite loop. So that means if the condition is not defined properly, it may lead to a infinite loop. In case of recursion also, if the base value is not proper, base value is given or the condition is not applied, then recursion will also lead to a infinite loop. So that is similarity between loop and recursion, where we can use a particular set of statement multiple times, and both of the loops can lead to the infinite loop. Now, how we can apply this concept of recursion into a program, or in what type of problem we can do it. So first let us assume we have to find out factorial of 5. So in this 5 factorial, we can apply the concept of recursion. First, why will we apply the recursion? Then how will we apply the recursion here? So if I say 5 factorial is equal to 5 into 4 into 3 into 2 into 1, that is 5 factorial. Okay, all of we are agreed. Now if it is 4 factorial, what is 4 factorial? 4 into 3 into 2 into 1, and it is 3 factorial, that is 3 into 2 into 1. So as you can see, when we are finding out the 5 factorial, we are performing 5 into 4 into 3 into 2 into 1. Now again, when we are performing 4 factorial, the same we are doing 4 into 3 into 2 into 1. Right? Here we are performing 3 into 2 into 1 also. But in 3 factorial, again we have to perform the same task. So for 5 factorial, for 4 factorial, for 3 factorial, the same calculation we have to done repeatedly. For 5 factorial, we have to done it repeatedly. For 4 factorial, we have to do it repeat. We have to repeat the calculation. For 3 factorial, we have to repeat the same calculation. So the operation is same, but we are repeating the calculation. We are repeating the calculation. That's why here we use the concept of factorial. Here we use the concept of loop basically, that where the same operation we will not perform or we will not do the calculation repeatedly. We will not do the same calculation again and again. We will perform the calculation one and that we will use for the next calculation. That means what we are changing here? The change is there. 5 factorial, just what we have written is 5 factorial is equal to 5 into 4 into 3 into 2 into 1. Now instead of that, what I am writing is 5 into 4 factorial. So this will be replaced by 4 factorial. So if 4 factorial is calculated, we know the value of the 4 factorial, easily we can convert it to 5 factorial. So for 4 factorial, that already we have done the calculation for 4 factorial. For 5 factorial, we are not going to do the calculation again. For 5 factorial, what we are going to do? We will use the value of the 4 factorial only. We will use the value of the 4 factorial. We are not going to perform 4 into 3 into 2 into 1, this operation separate, we are not going to perform that. Now for 4 factorial, what we can write is 5 into 4, this we can break into 3 factorial. Now 3 factorial also we can break as 5 into 4 into 3 into 2 factorial. That can also be break into 5 into 4 into 3 into 2 into 1 factorial. So in that way you can see, by using one factorial we are finding out another factorial. By using one factorial, with the help of one factorial we are finding out 2 factorial. With the help of 2 factorial we are finding out 3 factorial. With the help of 3 we are finding 4 factorial, and with the help of 4 factorial we are finding out 5 factorial. So here is the concept of recursion. The factorial we are using for another factorial. The factorial function we are using for another calculating another factorial. This factorial function we are using for calculating another factorial. Here basically we use the concept of recursion. Now how we convert it into programming concept? This I will show just after this through the programming, through 2 programs where I will use the factorial, use the recursion, where I will use the recursion to perform 2 problems or to solve 2 problems. So here what basically we do, what we do is we create a function that is factorial, fact function. We receive the argument through n variable, fact of n, that is equal to, there we have a variable, for example x is a variable, x is equal to n into fact of n minus 1, and it will continue until n reaches to 1. Okay, I am not writing the condition, that I will show in the program, just working principle. So if the value of n is, for example, 4, first time the value of n is 4. So when the value of n is 4, so it will come here and it will be 4 into, fact 3 n minus 1, fact 3. Okay, so when it is fact 3, so it will call the fact function again. And when it will call the fact function again, so the value of n is now 3. The value of n will be 3 because fact 3. So the argument value becomes 3. N becomes 3. Now it will be 3 into fact 2. N minus 1, that is 2. Okay. So again it will call the fact function. Again it will call the function. Now the value of n is 2. Here you can see the value of 2 will be assigned to n, because through n we are basically receiving the argument. So the argument is n minus 1, which is 2, that will be assigned to. So n is equal to 2 now. Now n is equal to 2. So it will become 2 into fact 1, 2 into fact 1. Now again fact 1 it will call. Now the value of n is 1. So it will be 1 into fact 0. 1 will be fact 0. Now when the value of n equal to 0, stop. When the value of n equal to 0, we stop the process. Okay. So basically what we have done, 4 into 3 into 2 into 1. Okay. So 4 into 3 into 1, and that is 4 factorial. That is 4 factorial. So this is the way how using this fact function we are finding out fact. Fact 0 is used to find out fact 1, or from fact 1 we are getting fact 0, from fact 2 we are getting fact 1, from fact 3 we are getting fact 2. So the same function we are repeating to get the same result. That means factorial function we are using to get factorial of another number. Factorial function we are using to get factorial of another number. So that is the whole concept about recursion, where a function calls itself, that is called recursion, or we can say the called function which is calling is same. That is the calling function and the called function, both are same. That is also called recursion. Using recursion we can repeat a set of statement for finite time. For finite time, if we apply the condition properly, if we are not assigning the proper base value, if we are not applying any condition, then recursion may lead to an infinite loop.
So here we will discuss factorial of a number using iteration. Then I will show how it can be done using recursion. So for iteration, here I have written the program using do while. We can use while also, we can use for loop also, because factorial of a number we can calculate or we can solve the problem by using any kind of loop statement. So here what we have done, I have taken the variable n, where we will take the input for which we want to find out the factorial. In n variable that value will be assigned, that I have taken as an input. And here basically this is the logic for we are writing for finding out the factorial. So factorial means basically if I find out 5 factorial, it should be 5 into 4 into 3 into 2 into 1 and so on, in that way. So in I variable, first I have assigned the value of n, that is for example 5. So if I say my value of I is equal to n is equal to 5, okay, if I consider this. Now here what I am writing is a factorial is equal to factorial into I. So initial value of f is equal to 1. So if I write f equals to f into 1, so the value of f will be, actually the value of f will be 1 into I. So what is the value of I? That is 5. That is 5. So then we are performing decrement operation on I. So here I is basically we are using for controlling the loop. Decrease the value of I. So the value of I becomes, now here the value of I, due to this operation the value of I is equal to 4. Okay. So then we apply the condition that the value of I is greater than equal to 1 or not. So as you can see the value of I is 4, so the condition is true. So if the condition is true, then the process will again repeat. Now come to the statement again, f equal to f into I. So the value of I is now 4. That means with the previous value of f, that is 1 into 5, we have to add the value of I, which is 4 now. And after another decrement, the value of I will be now 3. Again the condition is true. So again this step will repeat. So now we will multiply 3. In that way the value of I will be 2. So when the value of I is 2, here again it will execute the body of the loop and it will be 2. And finally when the value of I will be 1, so it will be into, then the value of I will become 0, and when the value of I is 0, this condition will be false. This condition will be false and it will print the value of A. So you can see, due to this iteration or execution of the loop, the final value of f is equal to 5 into 4 into 3 into 2 into 1. Okay. So we are getting the value of the factorial here. So let me execute the program and see what happens. So if I enter 5, so the factorial is equal to 120, as we know 5 factorial is equal to 120. So in that way we are getting the result here. So that is how we are finding out factorial of a number using iteration. Now the same we can represent using recursion also, because we have discussed that earlier, that the problem which we can solve by using iteration, that problem can also be solved by using recursion. So what recursion is? Recursion is basically when a function calls itself, that is called recursion. So here we have defined the function. This is the function definition. This long int is return type of the function. Name of the function I have given fact, and the argument type is integer, because we want to find out factorial of a number, and that number should be integer. That's why in argument type we have given integer. Now here similarly we have taken considered n as the number for calculating the factorial, and here we print the value, and while printing it we are calling the function. While printing it we are calling the function. So here we call the function fact, and while calling the function, here we are passing the value of n that we have taken as an input. So that is basically here, if we consider the value of n is 5, so it is basically like this. It is basically like this. We are passing the value, and that value, when we get back to the function declaration, so here that value will be assigned to n. So we can say here the value of this n is 5. Value of this n is 5, because this value we will receive here. Now come to the body of the loop. What we are doing here, if the value of n is 1, then obviously we need not to find out the factorial. So here we are considering only for the value of n that is greater than or equal to 1. Okay. If the value of n is greater than 1, so as you can see, this condition for the value of n equal to 5 is true, so it will come here. Okay. And here it will find out, return the value, what, n into factorial of n minus 1. So here you can see basically we are using the recursion. What is the value of n? The value of n is now 5. 5 into, so we are basically writing the statement like this: 5 into fact of n minus 1 means 4. N minus 1 means 4. So again we are calling the factorial function here, the fact function here. So as soon as we call the fact function by this statement, again the program will get back to the function declaration. Program will get back to the function declaration. And after that, here the value of n will be now 4, because when we call the function, whatever value we are passing here, that value we will receive in this n variable. That is the logic of the function. Whatever argument we are passing while calling the function, here in this variable we will receive that value. So here when we are calling the function, we are passing the value 4, so the value of n will be 4. So again this condition is true. Again this condition is true. So what will happen now? For this function, it will be the value of n, that is 4 right now, into fact n minus 1, that is 3. So 4 minus 1, 3. So it is now like this. That means again we are calling the fact function. So as soon as we call the fact function, again it will come here. And here now the value of n will be 3, because we are passing 3. So whatever we are passing, we are receiving that. So for this, again this condition will be true. In that way it will be 3 into fact of 2 now. Again fact will be called. So in that way repeatedly the fact function will execute. Repeatedly the fact function will execute. And if you see, this fact function is within this fact function. So the calling function and the called function both are same. Or a function fact that is calling the same function fact. That's why it is called recursion. So using recursion also we can find out this. So let me now run the program and see. So if I enter 5, so factorial of 5 is equal to 120. So as we know that factorial of 5 is 120. So we are getting the correct result. So that is how we can find out factorial of a number using recursion. Not only recursion, the programs like greater common division, the program like Fibonacci series, lots of programs are there, lots of problems are there, which we can solve by using iteration, as well as that can be solved by using recursion.